What's going on, guys? It's Tom or Top 10 Wrestling, and since my WrestleMania Botches video got really well received, got a good amount of views, and you guys really seem to enjoy it, I thought I'd do a really quick video just to talk about 3 must-see botches from the Raw after WrestleMania, since we're just about to go into SmackDown, and also talk about the show in general, give my thoughts on it this year, because I do have some thoughts on it this year. And if I'm just talking about the 3 botches, this video would be very quick, and I'm not these super amazing botches that have loads of discussion to talk about. So the first 2 botches on this list, I can't tell whether they're actually botches or not, but we're going to start off with the Aleister Black entrance. Now, usually in Aleister Black's entrance, he comes up from a coffin on the side of the stage. But this time round, his theme music played, and it was all really delayed and taking a while, and he never came up from a coffin. Instead, he was just seen walking around from the side of the stage. Now, maybe for whatever reason, they just weren't able to do it at the Raw after WrestleMania. It just so happened that tonight they weren't able to do that part of the entrance. But it did very much come off like it was a botch, just due to the fact it took him a while to come out. And everyone on Twitter was asking if it was botch and tweeting about it. I saw a lot of tweets asking, was that a botch from Aleister Black? It was really hard to tell, but if I had to say so, I think it was. There maybe might have been some sort of malfunction with it, and maybe he just, for whatever reason, wasn't able to come up. Number 2 is Sami Zayn's entrance. On Monday Night Raw, we saw Sami Zayn make his return, and he's got a new heel character, which I actually really like, which I'll discuss later. But, again, I can't tell whether this was a botch, or it was just part of his whole character. Like, I couldn't really tell if that was just Sami being Sami. At the very start of his entrance, he almost tripped up. Well, he did trip up, and he just was on his stomach, and it cut the camera very quickly, and you can't really tell whether it was scripted because Sami just played it off very well and was on the floor and just waved at the camera when the camera cut back to him. So I can't really tell whether this was a intentional botch or not. And number 1 on this list is Cesaro hurting a child. I saw Marcus, my good friend from Wrestle Club, tweet this out. It was in the match Seth and Kofi versus The Bar. Seth did a suicide dive, and Cesaro ran back into the barricade, and seems elbowed a kid in the face, or in the head, because after it happened, the kid is shown holding his head and hugging what seems to be his father. And so, like, wow, that's a botch and a half. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the list part. I'm just going to give my overall thoughts on the show very quickly. I thought overall it wasn't as exciting as other Raw after WrestleManias. I think one thing was the lack of like returns and call-ups and things like that. But that might also be a good thing. You know, do we really need people to be called up right now? I would have definitely loved to see the Undisputed Era maybe interfere in the Seth Rollins Kofi match rather than The Bar. But that's just me. Lars Sullivan returning or making his debut even was really cool. Really great to see him, and I think him beating down Angle was a perfect way to establish him. Sami Zayn returning, I really popped for that. Sami is one of my favorites. He's always been one of my favorites, and he's got a really cool character where it's basically him versus the internet fans in a way, and it's a really cool character. I really like it. But yeah, I thought the idea of Seth and Kofi having a match for a winner takes all was a bit dumb. I don't think that match should have happened. If so, it should have been like a non-title and not a winner takes all, because that kind of strikes fear into my heart that Seth could lose or Kofi could lose. 2 people who shouldn't be losing. The fact it was right that it was a shenanigans finish, but the fact is the match shouldn't have been taking place in the first place. It shouldn't have been happening. Also, Undertaker interrupted Elias, which was really unexpected. I mean, I feel like this should have been at WrestleMania instead of Basic Thugonomics, John Cena coming out. As good as that was, how much better would it have been if Basic Thugonomics, John Cena faced Kurt Angle at WrestleMania? That would have been bloody awesome. That would have been amazing. If we could hop in a time machine right now, I would book that. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I've just gone over 4 minutes. Didn't realize I'd gone over 4 minutes. Just thought I'd give my quick thoughts and summarize Raw after WrestleMania. Looking forward to SmackDown after WrestleMania. SmackDown is always a good show. It's never bad, or at least never usually bad, so I'm excited for that. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye and keep on rolling.